Have you ever watched an animal do something cruel and wondered, did it feel anything at all? A cat that plays with a mouse before killing it, a chimpanzee that attacks without warning, a dolphin that hurts another animal for no obvious reason. These moments make us uncomfortable because they look familiar. They look almost human. So here's the question. Can animals be psychopaths? Not just aggressive, not just territorial, but truly cold, calculated, and without empathy? The answer might surprise you. First, let's understand what a psychopath actually is. In humans, psychopathy is not just about violence. It is about a pattern. A psychopath lacks empathy. They do not feel guilt. They can be charming on the surface. They manipulate others. They repeat harmful behavior without remorse. It is a specific combination of traits. Emotional emptiness mixed with calculated action. Now the real question is, can that same pattern exist in the animal world? Scientists say yes, but with a catch. Let's start with chimpanzees, our closest relatives. Chimps live in complex social groups. They form alliances. They remember favors. They feel jealousy. They can be incredibly kind and protective. But some chimps show a pattern of behavior that looks deeply troubling. Researchers have documented chimps that attack weaker members of the group, not for food, not out of fear, but seemingly for control. They intimidate without reason. They show little reaction when others around them are in pain. They repeat aggressive behavior even when it brings no clear benefit. Frans de Waal, one of the most respected animal behavior scientists in the world, studied chimps for decades. He noticed that some individuals showed consistently low empathy across their entire lives. They did not comfort others in distress. They did not respond to social cues the way normal chimps did. They were outliers. Cold outliers. Now think about dolphins. Dolphins have a reputation. Friendly, playful, intelligent, and most of them are. But dolphins also have a dark side that most people do not talk about. Male dolphins sometimes form gangs. These groups will isolate a female, chase her for days, and force mating. Some dolphins have been seen killing porpoises, not for food, just repeatedly, almost obsessively. Young dolphins have been killed by adult males with no clear survival reason. What makes this stranger is that dolphins are smart enough to know what they are doing. They plan. They coordinate. They remember. So when a dolphin causes suffering with no practical reward, it raises an uncomfortable question. Is it enjoying this? Or is it simply not bothered by it? Cats give us a different kind of example. One that is much closer to home. Domestic cats kill billions of birds and small animals every year. Most of the time, they are not even hungry. They bring the dead animal home and seem completely unbothered. No guilt, no hesitation, just calm, clean detachment. Is that psychopathy? Probably not. For cats, killing is hardwired. It is instinct, not a choice. True psychopathy in humans involves overriding empathy that should be there. Cats may simply not have strong empathy toward prey in the first place. But here is where it gets interesting. Some cats show lack of empathy toward their own species too, toward other cats, toward the humans they live with. They seem unbothered by distress signals that other cats respond to. Scientists call these individuals low affiliation animals. They exist on a spectrum. Orcas give us perhaps the most complex example. Orca societies are some of the most sophisticated in the animal world. They have culture. They teach their young. They mourn their dead. Most orcas live in tight family bonds for their entire lives. But in captivity, something different has been observed. Orcas under stress, cut off from family, forced into small spaces. Some have shown behavior that looks disturbing, aggression without warning, attacking trainers without apparent trigger, displaying what some researchers call flattened emotional response. Now, is that psychopathy? Or is that trauma? This is where the science gets complicated and honest. Because here is the thing. Psychopathy in humans is partly biological. Some people are born with brains that process fear and empathy differently. The amygdala, the part of the brain that handles emotional responses, works differently in psychopaths. Animals have amygdalas too. And research shows that in some individual animals, the same region shows lower activity, lower emotional response, less fear, less empathy-related behavior. In 2019, a study on rhesus monkeys identified a small group of individuals who consistently scored low on social bonding, showed little distress response, and repeated harmful behaviors without apparent learning. Their brain scans looked different. Their stress hormones were different. They were not just aggressive, they were wired differently. That is as close to biological psychopathy as science has currently found in animals. But we have to be careful here. When we call an animal a psychopath, we are using a human label for a human condition. Animals do not have the same moral framework we do. A lion that kills does not feel guilty. But that does not make it a psychopath. Psychopathy is not just about the absence of guilt. It is about the absence of connection, of social bonding, of emotional response to others' pain. Most animal aggression comes from hunger, fear, competition, or instinct. That is normal. That is survival. True animal psychopathy, if we are going to use that word, would be something rarer. An animal that hurts others when it does not need to. That shows no bonding behavior its whole life. That feels nothing when the animals around it suffer. And those animals, a small percentage, do seem to exist. So why does this matter? Because it tells us something important. Empathy is not uniquely human, and neither is its absence. The capacity for connection, for care, for bonding. These things evolved. They exist in animals across many species. And just like in humans, some individuals are born with less of it, or lose it through trauma, or simply never develop it. That should make us think differently about behavior, in animals and in ourselves. Animals are not simple. They are not all innocent, and they are not all cruel. They exist on a spectrum, just like us. Most are driven by survival. Some are capable of real warmth. And a small few operate in a colder, quieter way that science is only beginning to understand. The next time you look into an animal's eyes, you might not just be wondering what they think of you. You might be wondering what they feel, and whether they feel anything at all.